Welcome, everyone. This is my third year doing this, and anyone missed last year's, I'm sorry it was not recorded because it was a pretty good one. I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna say, but we like to just bring everyone together. It seems like there's always a gathering for other things, and hey, why not budget? Why not our area too, right? We can get ours. And so I'm glad you all came. And so I think the first thing that I'm going to do is I've got, hopefully that you've all been trained. I know Alex particularly has spent time with you all, Patty Young as well. But sometimes we always get a few questions and that kind of thing. I also wonder sometimes if everyone wonders, hey, what would Nat do, right? What does he do? This is, so I thought for a second we call it kind of like a tips and tricks. I just threw a couple of queries up there. You probably have them. It's just journal, it's AP voucher, but they're just the basic ones that you would even maybe use. This is kind of what I do at home for fun, by the way, because it is. And so, all right. We're up one for one. So if I'm sitting here thinking, all right, Nat's looking at his budget. He's wondering what's going on. Hopefully you guys know where some things are. I've got it kind of saved like that, but if you kind of go into your S drive, units, financial services, reports, organization. Now, I can look at all of yours, and I do. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I look at my own, my home life. Oh, okay. But just so you know, in case anyone doesn't know, because I always feel like it's painful, click, 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 click. Just the first tip, like if I were to want to put my own, I could right-click and say pin to quick access. And, it's because I already did earlier, but that would take me right there. So then now you've got it. And that would show up also in your Excel if that's how you choose to get there. So that's there. So then I might say, okay, what's going on in risk management? And you can see, everything looks okay, high and tight. It's not the most difficult one. The biggest line item is here. We've got the insurance bill, but that doesn't really hit right away. BC, hey, it's gonna. So I'll put that aside. Then I might go into accounting. No bodies buried here. There's obviously a lot of accounts that are not, controllable. So you've got things like your wages and that benefits and that kind of thing. So when I look at that, I realize, you know what? If there was something out of whack, then I would call me. Well, I call myself, but I would wonder what's going on, because then I could really I want to do something about it. But in general, you're only looking at what compares here to down here. Then I would look at it and say, oh wow, it's early yet, but hey, we've got $40,000 booked there. Was that what I expected to be? Let's find out what that is. And so I would go in to FS Prod. I've got all the queries that I use, not all of them every day, but some of them. So I'm going to do a journal drill. So, what did it say? It says 2210 was the account, and the department was 023, and the year is 2020. This field can be empty. The other ones can't. So I look in and I say, and then I say, there. All right. Look at like, all right, so, oh, hey, wait, I don't know what it is because it's an AP. So it's a perfect example, right? So I can now say, all right, let's pull up the next one because I was saying journal and AP are the two you might want to use. So now we're going to go in to AP. We'll look at the same accounts. 2210, 0223, 2020, and I can see Plant Moran. Hey, it's the auditor's bill. Oh, yeah, we just had an audit. Okay, that makes sense. All right, now I know what's going on in there because I got my detail. I also know that we've got some encumbrance here because we haven't paid the whole bill. Usually when you have an encumbrance that's pretty large, you're gonna know what it is, unless you're Jim, because you've got like 100 projects in there. But in general, you're gonna know what it is. But he knows how to look it up too, so. But you might also say, hey, let's just say, let's just figure out, is this gonna be reasonable to last year? And so I might go into last year, and you can pull it up there, and it is. Hey, it's last year. But even then, it brings up an issue. Hey, look, last year we went over a little bit. So then I'm going to go back to Todd and meet with Lisa, and we'll have to decide. Hey, at mid-year, do we need to put in a request to have this looked at? Do we need to increase it? It might depend on what we're expecting to happen. In this area, there happens to be different things affecting audit fees. What if this year we had some extra fees because there were some extra things going on, and it was just unusual? But we can talk about that. What we'd want to do is maybe at that time look at some of our other accounts and maybe decide, hey, are there some other places we could we could move some things around before we have to ask? Because even in an area like this, we're going to push it up the chain and it'll go on the list, and it will be decided whether or not that to push back. Hey, no, we think from the higher ups down. I'm not up. I'm kind of middle management, but there's higher ups than me. But it'll just we'll have to look at everything and all the different areas, and they have to decide to say, all right, that's fine. We bless that few $1,000 increase, or we think you should get it from someplace else. And this kind of thing happens all the time. So that is what I would look at for my accounts. I kind of do that at home too, by the way. Like I said, if you want to look at your own accounts, and this is just my special tip, is to track your expenses, and like we do here, track them all and look at them, and you can kind of look at your own data and say, is this within reason to what you're expecting to do? And use your own data. But that's another thing. But happy to talk about it anytime, by the way. All right, let's get back to this all, the fun. Oh, thank you. Transparency. That's right. We wanted to look at. Oh shoot! Can we do it again? I just wanted to show you all because I know transparency can be a thing, and it's always been important to me as well. I know it comes up. Some people talk about that. We do have. As you saw there, the numbers are there. I can always be reached to at least have discussions about things. But we also have right on the. That's not even right. What? Come on. I was doing so well. Zoom slideshow. This is not working. All right, I'll just tell you. I was going to show you, but it's not working. So I don't even know if I can't even. I think it's frozen. It's broken. That's even worse than frozen. It's like Frozen 2, I hear. Yeah. I think Klaus just wanted to be in the movie.
That's right. Is that what you were looking for?
That's where I was. If I back. Oh, okay. Yep, that's good.
Okay.
There we are. All right, we're back. Thanks, Klaus.
Yep.
So yeah, right there on the main website, we've got our transparency reports. It's not as exciting as your own personal reports for your own departments, which you're looking at all the time, but it's there. Hey, there's an operating budget, which I had a role in. So all that's there. There's audited financial statements, just kind of fun reading by the fire in the middle of winter. Lots of stuff to read. So anyway, I just wanted to point out, we may have pointed out last year, but there's information there, and then if you have questions about it, there's people you can call, including myself. All right, let's get this rolling. Get this back. All right. All right. So we have this slide every year, and it's similar every year, but this is just the just showing how we've got, kind of call it our three-legged stool of revenues, and it hasn't changed a lot, although it's moved around a lot because state appropriations have kind of slid down a little bit. Property taxes are on the rise a bit. Tuition, obviously, it's actually been pretty leveled, but it's going down with because of enrollment. But those are the three major areas. This is boring because it's all one thing, but it does show what we are. We're a lot of wages, some more than others, but that's all right. Then we've got controllables and then non-controllables, but it's kind of there just to show a little bit of kind of that slice that you guys control. And when you're talking about a $110 million budget, even 13% can be a big chunk. So savings on that can be in the magnitudes of the millions when we do our, due diligence. This one is interesting. I'll let it speak for itself. This one we just like to show how we are versus state averages, just to give you a sense that we're close to average. This is very close, but we're even shading just a little low. So when you hear about, tuition increases, things like that, or, a variety of topics, just keep this in the back of your mind that we do pretty well versus others. And it's kind of the same here, although we put a little bit more in instructional support than the average, which is like to see there. So coming up over the next year, it's kind of the same every year. I'd like to put the same dates, because if you just keep in mind mid-year budget requests by the end of November and basically next year budget requests by the end of February, then keep that can be your kind of your rule of thumb, and you'll be good. Donna runs this. She has not put a date down, but she will. We usually get a decent amount of few people for these. They're actually pretty interesting. I like going to them, actually. And they're, it gives you a new overview. There's always something new in it, but you don't have to go. But for new people especially, it can be an interesting way to look at things. So, I think, yep, you're up. Feel the thunder.
All right, I'm not going to be nearly as funny. How is that? While we were all together, wanted to have a brief opportunity to give you some general campus-wide updates. Most of you may know some of this. I'm hoping some of this is informational. We are also all here to answer any questions about anything finance administration that you might have before we are done. Facilities is clearly a hot topic on our campus today, so just 2 minutes about the projects we're going on, and of course Jim is right here in the front row to answer any specifics. We have 3 major construction projects that I'm sure you are all aware of, Ledinga and Mabel Ingle up on our DeVos campus. Ledinga will soon, when it is done, be home to our foundation and alumni. It's going to be a great opportunity for that team to reach out to alumni, to have their own space, and to be very visible on the corner of College and Fulton there. We're excited about that. Mabel Ingle is on the same track. Mabel Ingle will be very much student-centered, student-focused. Student Life will have a large presence on the first floor of that building. Student Employment Services will be on the second floor, and our Experiential Learning and Honors Program will be on our third floor of that building. So very excited about that one as well. Jim, when are those? Fall of 20? All right. Ledinga, Mabel Ingle.
Ledinga, Mabel Ingle will be next spring.
Next spring. Ledinga, Mabel Ingle will be done next spring. So stay tuned. Focus. We're excited about both of those. Moving to the ATC, although before I leave DeVos, we are also upgrading, many of you may have seen this kitchen in Sneeden. We have always had a warming kitchen there, which has really limited our ability to provide great student service as far as food goes up on that campus, as well as limited our ability to provide any other catering or any other significant food service in the conference rooms or multipurpose rooms in Sneeden. So we are installing a full cooking kitchen there. That will be done within the next month. Running a little bit farther behind than we had hoped, but will certainly be done soon. And then we will open that and most immediately we'll have much better comprehensive food service for students on that campus. So we're excited about that as well. Moving down to this campus, the ATC, the building we're sitting in now, we're putting an addition and doing some significant renovation in this building. That, as you've seen, has already started, working on the renovation first. That will move in the winter semester into some interior renovation work in some spaces. Vicki, remind me exactly where. Will be offline in winter.
In winter, faculty offices for Mike Merchant and the design faculty are moving, and classrooms 228, 232, and 234 are offline.
So small spaces, but will be impactful for winter, and then much more significant moving into summer and fall. That project has virtually another 12 months, if not a little bit longer, to go before it will be complete. Fair enough? And then the next one, closely following behind from a design standpoint, we're all very excited about, thanks to our foundation and their work. We are moving into Finkelstein Hall next. So we are very much looking forward to a full renovation of the entire space there. First floor, a lot of the work we've done and will continue to do around student services on that first floor and making more of a one-stop shop. As well as classroom and some office spaces as we move up into floors 2 through 5. So we will have some design work kicking off shortly. We will have some construction happening yet this upcoming summer. The majority of that work will start beyond that fall, and then some significant work going on in summer of 21. Boy, that sounds strange to say. So watch for more specificity around our JF, but that is coming next. Along with that, master planning process has now kicked off. Some of you have touched that already. Many of you will if you have not. We are working with a firm called The Collaborative out of Ann Arbor. They are going to come in and help us complete a comprehensive master plan with the very specific purpose of making sure that we are aligning our facilities to meet our strategic and academic planning going into the future. So we are very excited about that. Many of you, if not all of you, will be called on to provide input for that. That process is just now kicking off. We had our starting series of meetings on Monday, many more to come, including a couple more one more in November, one in December, perhaps a couple in January, and then some feedback opportunities in between. So stay tuned for that as well. We're excited to be able to make sure that we're aligning facilities and putting our facilities resources, our scarce facilities resources, to best effect as we make sure that we match our strategic and academic plan. We also have a wayfinding study, signage study on campus going on. Some of you have participated in some focus groups around that. That will align with our master plan, but Hopefully, we will have a comprehensive sign program done in the next 2 or 3 months, which will then be followed based on budgeted resources availability with some new signage across the institution, standardizing some of the way we talk about and provide wayfinding across the campus. Lakeshore, got a lot going on. Lakeshore, Dr. Pink talked about that a bit in opening day. We are slowly but surely moving forward with our ultimate purchase of the property that is linked to the West Shore Mall over on 31 in Holland. The former J.C. Penney, some of you may know it as that. We are very excited. Certainly all full steam ahead, continuing to make significant progress. Do not have a closing date yet. We've got some due diligence yet to wrap up, primarily from a facilities standpoint, but we are moving forward on that right now. If everything goes as planned, we will begin design work in the next 3 months-ish, depending on closing date, with a goal to be actually having classes in that facility out on the lake shore in fall of '21. So that's where we are with that. Yay, thank you, Dan. That is all I had, unless there are any questions before I get out of the way on any of that. All right, then I think, Danelle, I'm handing this to you.
I was going to say, if you want to run that. All right, I have a few little goodies to show you and some things to share. I'm Danelle Sador, and I reside in the Fickenstein building, G1, which is considered garden level. And down there, we do printing and mailing services. However, today I wanted to talk a little bit about other things that we do down there or that we can do for you. We can provide signage for you. We do printing on foam core. We do retractable banners, banners on what they call the grasshopper band, folders. We actually can produce folders down there for folks, which we do. We also do books, these nice little books. You can do that in different sizes. It's nice compatible. Another book that we have with another different type of binding we can do down there. And we've done some imitations. We can provide white ink on a colored piece of paper. Other thing we can do is we can do varnishes, which is that shiny stuff on the paper that looks pretty cool for some events. We can do table tents, window clings, the little stickers that I handed out just before the meeting. This is called repositionable fabric. What's cool about this is we have one of the gals in our department wear it on her sweater, and then she stuck it on the wall, and then she stuck it on a monitor, and it continues to re-stick. So that's kind of nice. And like I said, we also do the clings. I don't know if any of you still have your Raider Nation window cling. That was done through our department. So there's lots of things that we can do down there that I think people don't realize because we're called printing and mailing services. So I'm here today to tell you that there are other things that we can do, like even this nifty little bag. I got a gal who I can get that from. The little chapsticks that we handed out before the meeting that has our name on it. I have a person who can get that for you, and I know a lot of you get that, really cool little blue box that has goodies in it. My gal can give me better pricing than that little blue box, so if any of you want to give us a try sometime before you get online and order from that blue box, we'd really appreciate it. And we have a guy that's we try to do a lot of local here too. We have a guy that's a local veteran that does t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, hoodies. We've done a lot for the English department for those types of things, journals. If you want to hit the next slide. These are some of the things that we've done for folks for their events that we can get through either my guy or my gal. So today I just wanted to let everyone know that we are more than just printing and mailing services. And so if you'd like to give us a call, I'd be more than happy to get you pricing on some things for your next event or even for your department. We have some folks that ordered some hoodies for their department, for their faculty folks. But that's all I wanted to say today. I just wanted to let you know that we are here to support more than just the quick copy and the mailing. So, thank you.
Thank you, Danelle. All right, so doors, my favorite topic for the last 9 months or so. So let's just quick do an update on doors. We talked about doors we were here last November 1st of 2018 when we were just to the point of what's coming up in the rest of the door project and that schedule building by building. So we are now fully installed. All 400 and plus doors on this campus are now electronically controlled. So basically phase 1 of the installation is complete. So all of those doors are now managed by a schedule, meaning clock and calendar program all of those doors. This is the first fall semester. So really what we're learning now again is what does it mean to operationalize our new door system as building schedules change each semester, as we take a look at activities, all of those kinds of things. So this is only the first fall that we've operated. So it's still new as we go through the operationalizing of the door project. So the standard hours of operation for each building, now we review at the beginning of each new term based on what the activity is. So we'll revisit for winter as an example because of the commitment to offer more Saturday classes. And if they run, we'll have to look at adjusting Saturday hours because right now we don't open all buildings, and those are the kinds of things we look at, but also have to remember now. We have to remember that, oh yeah, we've got to look at door schedules and things because they're programmed out for the semester. Building hours, standard hours of operation are on the web page. I won't make you drive there, Nat, but right below the transparency reporting link that Nat showed you is the Campus Security and Information Resource Page link. If you click on that, it will take you to the page where you will find the standard building hours for each of the buildings. So that's where you can find that information online. The request I have from all of you is help us remember now as we operationalize this that if you're planning an activity like the fall admissions open house is a really good example, and you're going to expect that people are going to be able to get in buildings that aren't normally open on a Saturday, that has to be requested. Not a problem, because it's just the remembering as we learn, oh, that's right, that's another step now in the process. So we program those for special events. If we have to extend building hours for a special event, we can extend that as all. It's just the learning, the new operationalizing. So Nate, if you'll hit the next slide. So the door implementation project also came with the Raider card replacement project, and we did that last December. I want to say thank you to anybody in this room or from your departments that volunteered with us right before shutdown last year to hand out Raider cards, because we would not have been able to do it without you. So Raider cards, new Raider cards, are also employee keys to the door system now, exterior access and interior access. And so what was new with the project is that all employees now have standard automatically credentialed exterior access. That's what you see right at the top. So you don't need, if you have a new employee, for example, HR doesn't need to request that. That's an automated process. Once you have the employee service indicator and you're an active employee, you get that. So a lot of our credentialing now is automated. Building specific general access like the data center, Spectrum, preschool, some of those kinds of things are still requested, but those are the same hours. So all employees, again, all employees have the 6 to 11 Monday through Friday, Thursday, Friday, and the Saturday access. Sunday access is automatic for full-time faculty and meet and confer personnel level 16 or higher. Next slide, please, Nat. Okay. Interior access. Again, all employees, it's automatic for those work centers. So Cook, if you've used them, the business centers, they're in Sneeden, they're in RJF, they're in Cook, have automatic access to that. Specialty areas, again, if you have a new faculty member, those need to be requested, and that's that access request form that you're familiar with. We also have the extended access options. That's a separate form, and we are going to be adjusting and redesigning those forms so that the standard default automatically credentialed access is recognized, and you're adding whatever you need above and beyond that. If you need extended access, for those of you that are doing access request forms, if you'll just help us out now until we get it redesigned and then get it on the web page, please include the EMPL ID for the person that you're asking for, because looking that up in the system is just much more efficient for Gary Carpenter and Nat and whomever is doing the credentialing. And that is a field that we will add when we redesign the form. But if you can just help us out by doing that, I'd appreciate that. And so extended access, again, that's the extended access request form. That process hasn't changed. You submit that to campus police, and you can get credentialed most of the time, unless you're asking for something really odd like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then chief does go, let's talk about that. So anyway, that's what I wanted to update you on. I do want to do a couple of shout outs just to say thank you, because this was a really big institutional project that got done. I mean, it was not just doors, it wasn't just Raider Card, it was all of the cash to card machines around campus. It was all of the point of sale registers around campus. So Creative Dining and Raider Grill and all of those folks had to have a new register system. It was all the parking gates and parking credentialing. So that time between December and January, when we came back and everybody had to get that done, was no small feat. So I want to publicly state in front of all of you, Chief Whitman, Scott Martin, Gary Carpenter, Brune Garcia, and Nate Hamilton were the core group that just hit it out of the park. I also want to acknowledge Mike Tobert and the other dispatchers in campus police, because Mercedes-Benz, and that's on tape. She's gonna kill me. Mercedes Barnum, and there's a song. I've got a song going on my head, Shelley. And Christina are really the ones learning the system now. So if there's an issue with a door or a reader, or it's unlocked and it's supposed to be locked, or it's not unlocked, and all of that, we're all learning and building capacity to be the ones to program the special events and do all of that. So there's a lot of capacity building now as we manage and operationalize this. That we're going to continue through this next first year of operation. And finally, I just really want to say thank you to all of you. As I said, this was no small feat. Everybody on campus was impacted by it, and the support that the team got and the patience of this campus to go through something like that really just is a tribute to the family of GRCC and the understanding of that. So thank you, thank your people, and I'm not even going to take questions.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So Lisa has already shared information. It's all good. It's all good. On the myriad projects we have in pre-planning, planning, design, and construction, I was asked to drill down just a little bit further on what we have underway currently. So follow the dot. So here we are. Next slide, please. Thank you. As mentioned, the ones underway currently are Lettinga House, Mabel Engel, Applied Technology Center, which includes an addition and a renovation, and the Sneeden Hall commercial kitchen. So I just have a little more information on all of those. So I don't know how easy it is to read this, but the commercial kitchen, I would say roughly right about here is where the old service counter was. And so the new kitchen, I might have to switch hands here. The new kitchen is in the area that was behind there, and it's going to be dual use. We're going to have creative dining operating out of there, as well as, at times, the culinary school and others for events that are on that campus or elsewhere. There also is more of a I don't want to call it a cafeteria, but a place for students and faculty and visitors to come get something to eat and drink. So there is a way to come through here and go up to the counter and get food cooked to order. There also will be, of course, chips and pop and coffee and things. And so in the end, we will end up with a little more space when you enter that area than before, because it's all kind of pushed back a little bit. So we expect there to be more room for more people to enjoy the dining and studying whatever in there. These are just a couple pictures of the demo and it going back together, and of course where the building is. So that's completing in the fall. Lettinga is underway. This is for foundation and alumni. It is getting repainted. It's 2 levels. First level, we're going to have an entry and dining room, a living room, signing room, and a nice kitchen, some restrooms and so on. So this is sort of the business end, if you will, for day-to-day activities. And then there will be offices upstairs as well as a boardroom and another couple meeting areas. I guess that's all I have to say about that right now. Mabel Engel, similar, done in the spring. This, wow. Wow. That's where the elevator is going to go, and there's a new stair tower, which is required by code for life safety egress. But, I mean, I don't think you or I could imagine this without seeing it. But it's a good thing, of course. We have an excellent CM working on it. Next slide, please. These are just some examples of what's going to go on in there. We're going to have a student life hub on the first floor and a lot of meeting areas for student groups and organizations throughout that whole first floor. These are just a couple renderings. Those of you that have been in there, this is near the front door going out to Fulton. And so we're going to preserve some of the nice spaces within the house. There aren't as many as there were in Whitehall, which was just full of one-off historic features. This has some. We're going to preserve those. We're also going to keep the fireplace opening and then, update and modernize the rest of the facility. So this is a view of level 1. Next slide. Oh, we're there already. Okay, second floor is going to be student employment services. So they're going to have their offices along Fulton Street and some meeting rooms. And quite a few meeting rooms. There's also going to be computer stations for students to apply, search for jobs, etc. And then on level 3, this is going to be experiential learning. Again, some offices for staff, some meeting rooms, bigger boardroom, and a lot of space for students to learn experientially and otherwise. So these are just some renderings of what the spaces will look like. Be quite an experience. Okay, ATC. This doesn't do it justice either. If you had ridden by there, that has to be 40 feet tall. It's like 3 stories coming out of the ground with a big scary bank. We almost have that part behind us. These are just pictures of them pouring those first walls. This is like a vista from maybe across the street at Spectrum Theater. This is a little bit further up the road. And I just want to point out that from the neighbor's house, they will be seeing a green roof because we're going to expand the existing green roof, have a green roof on the addition. Next slide. And then to give you a sense of where it's happening in the building, level 1, this is the addition right here. And then the reach goes in somewhat into the building. The machine tool lab will be much bigger, and those faculty will be adjacent. This whole wall will be glass out to the street. And anyway, so there will be some renovations to classroom, but not to the extent as on the second floor, which is next slide. So here's the addition on the second floor. This is computer information systems. And there are computer labs, there are faculty offices, and then the reach of the renovation goes much further. I'll try to trace it slowly. It comes into the building. These CAD labs are being resized. We're getting a new dean's office. There's a classroom here, but all of this from Art and Bev's, not where the classroom is, but where that red dot is, all through here. This is all going to be open, all open space. Where now it's computer information systems or services in their office. And then even the corridor that goes down to the addition, we're making these rooms smaller, which allows breakout space for students, as well as an open area for study, and sort of a hinge point between the existing building and where you break to the south to the addition. I guess that's it. Are there any questions? All right, thank you.
All right. I know what you're all thinking at this point. That was so great. How can I see it again? And you can, because it has been recorded. We forgot last year, but we got it. So it's not going to be on Amazon Prime or Vudu or anything, but we'll get it out. We'll get a link. I also, I mean, if you do have any questions, we can answer them. As I hope you all know, my office door is, well, it's metaphorically always open, and I'm always ready for questions. So, you know, I love to get into it with anyone, really. I mean, I've had some really good talks with some certain departments, and we can talk about, hey, how are the expenses moving through your department? Is there a spreadsheet we can set up that could be even better? I love spreadsheets, so please do ask, because I like to do that. But at any rate, if there's, you know, I don't know if there are any questions, but in general, we have, that's all we've got. So thanks for coming, and we'll see you next year. Well, I'll see you before then, but you know.